Hey everyone, it's your boy Kev, and welcome back to my final E3 audio reaction show. Yay! Right now it's day 2, or in some cases it's day 1, but that doesn't really make sense to me, so I'm gonna say day 2. And day 2 was kind of bit of a doozy. We most likely we've seen a lot of like gameplay demos and the last remnants of press conferences. Today's the last press conference that we see is Nintendo, and that was their whole digital event thing. They're not really doing a press conference in the traditional sense where everybody gathers in a room in front of a microphone and Satoru Iwata and Shigeru Miyamoto sit in front of a mic and Bill Trennan or some other guy is doing the translation for them. No, they're doing something different. Doing something totally different now. They've been doing it pretty different for like the last, I think, 2 or 3 years now, and it's okay. I'm cool with it. Getting grabbing little small spurts and whatnot. So it's good. Anyway, enough build up. Let's go ahead and dive on in to Nintendo. Now, because they do these digital events, sometimes they're a little wacky, sometimes they're a little weird. I think last year, either last year or the year before, I think it was last year, they had the robot. It looked like Robot Chicken had did it. It looked like Seth Green and his crew did a Robot Chicken-esque um, conference, and it was interesting. It was kind of cool. Now this year they did it with puppets, and I thought that it was I thought, okay, the puppet versions of them were pretty spot on, but it was like, why puppets? Why puppets? I mean, really, why puppets? Eh, I was like, all right, whatever. I'll go along with it. So they did a little puppet intro where it showed them slowly turning into different animals, and then after their transformations, it pretty much showed them like, oh yeah, that's Falco and Bunny and Star Fox, and yeah, do a barrel roll, and I'm like, okay. I mean, Zippy was Peppy hair, yeah, Peppy, not Bunny. So I was like, yeah, sure, okay, all right, good. So I guess they're gonna talk more about the Star Fox game they didn't really talk that much about last year, and it's coming out, and it's Star Fox, and it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty interesting. I'd like to play it, and it's basically Star Fox, and Shigeru Miyamoto talked about the in a very nice shrine, uh, Shinto shrine, talked about the significance of the fox and all that, and I was like, okay, that's it's cool. It's interesting. Yeah, okay. And they talked more about the features of the game and how there's how the R-Wing has different transformations, and and it's like they use more of the Wii gamepad to you can not use it and score hits, or you can get more precise hits by looking through the gamepad. So I thought that was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting. I'm down for that. I'm like, okay, sure. So I was like, okay, cool. Another Star Fox game. That was pretty good. Showed gameplay. Didn't really talk about the online features. Didn't really talk about stuff going on. But they probably divulge more of that into like later Nintendo Directs. So we'll probably hear more about like online features and stuff like that. Next one was they talked about Skylanders Superchargers, and they introduced these two new figures for Skylanders, which were two Nintendo figures. One was Bowser, and the other one was a Donkey Kong figure. That would be in the Wii U that would be accessible with the Wii U version of Skylanders. And I was like, oh, cool, that is kind of interesting. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it also has amiibo support, where it's like if you want to like use it for amiibo, you can use it for amiibo. If you want to use it with Skylanders, you can use it with Skylanders. So that's pretty good. That offers some extra, I guess, extra content that could be utilized with those figures, whether it be amiibo or whether it be Skylanders. So that was kind of cool. That's more plastic junk you can put on your your shelves, I guess. So okay. The third one was Legend of Zelda Tri-Heroes Force. No, I'm sorry, Triforce Heroes. My shorthand. I'm sorry. Yeah. So that's if you've ever played Four Swords, it's basically that except three Link, and it looks like the engine of A Link Between Worlds mixed with Four Swords. So it's cool. If you got friends, that's something you can play with. That's cool. Sure. I guess that's something to be I guess that's something to do. Yeah. The next one is Hyrule Warriors, but not for the Wii U. They're making a 3DS version, and I'm like, okay, that's Hyrule Warriors for the 3DS. I might be able to try this because I do not have a Wii U. I have a 3DS, so I might pick it up. Something to do. It's like it's Hyrule Warriors. It's like Dynasty Warriors, but with Link and Link characters and Zelda villains and all that stuff. That's kind of cool. Might look into that. It's pretty nice. This next one has been kind of. I've been hearing a little controversy over it, but not truly much. But I guess it's because it really does. It's based in the universe, but it's not real. It doesn't have the main character, and that's Metroid Prime Federation Force for the 3DS. And that's pretty much just a four-player co-op game under the umbrella of under the Metroid Prime banner. So I guess that is really why people are not 100% on its side, because it doesn't have Samus, and it's basically just a bunch of generic space dudes. Pretty much, it would have probably been better naming it generic space dudes for the 3DS, because that's basically what it is. And part of the game is the game that we saw on the Nintendo World Championships is Blaster Ball. So that is a four-player co-op game mixed in with this four-player co-op, I guess, mission game. So I guess it's like a mini player game. Mini player? Yeah, mini player game. A mini game. I'm sorry, mini game. Sorry, a mini game mixed in with this main game. So I guess so that was pretty cool. I like the look of it. It looks kind of fun. If you got friends, again, you can play with that. It's pretty cool. If you're interested. Okay. The next one is Fire Emblem Fates, which is the new English version of Final Fantasy If. I'm sorry, Final Fantasy. Fire Emblem If. Yeah, wish Fire Fantasy If. That'd be nice. Um, so basically, they just renamed Fire Emblem If, and then took If and put Fates in it, and it's basically the same game. It's gonna be two versions of the game of one ultimate story. It's like Pokemon. It's like a Pokemon X or Pokemon Y or Ruby or Sapphire. It's basically each game has each version has a different faction, and you can pick which version you want to play with, and you can play as different factions, and then you can kind of like take your version against another person's version, and I guess you could fight their versions. You fight against each other's versions. So it's like Pokemon, but with human characters, and conflict, and plot, and stuff, and turns. So yeah, I like Fire Emblem. I play a little bit of Awakening. I played the demo of Awakening. And I used to play a little bit of Fire Emblem on the DS and a little Fire Emblem on the old GBA. So yeah, it's a fun game. It's a fun strategy. I love strategy games. But man, it would have been really nice to see another Advance Wars. Oh man, that would really be nice. Nintendo, please, 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 please get onto another Advance Wars. Because I played a crap ton of Advance Wars back in the day for the GBA. I had both the GBA copies, and then I had the DS, and I had both the DBS. I'm not DBS, the DS copies. So I'm mad into Advance Wars, and I really would like to see that again. Okay, next is an Atlas game, which I think it's Sin Megami Tensei. It's called, I think it's like FE, but it looks like a Persona game, and it's very colorful, very Japanese, and it looks and plays and handles like a Persona game. So it's a Persona game that's coming for the Wii U. If you're into Persona, you'll like that. Okay. Next one is X Blade Chronicles X. I believe that's the name. I think that's the name. And oh man, it looks gorgeous. It looks so good. Oh man, like to see like those pretty shiny graphics and see what a Wii U can do and push out that level of beauty in a game is amazing. Like seeing like these big towering enemies walking, you're walking in this great field and you see these big towering creatures walking side of you, and you see the gameplay, and you see you know, your side characters and your partner characters and your main character all just running in the field. It's very orchestral and cinematic, and it looks really good. I think if you're into JRPGs, this is a pretty good series. This looks like a pretty good looking series. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. I like the look of that. Not really a lot of gameplay footage of that, but I mean like a gameplay demo of that. But from what I seen in the trailer, that mini trailer, it was pretty good. Okay, next are two Animal Crossing games. I'm not gonna really talk too much about it. First one is Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, and it's basically if you take all of the fun of catching bugs and picking fruit and pulling weeds and just build houses, that's pretty much it. You basically build houses for villagers, and that's about it. And then you have amiibo cards, which are not the figures, because again, you can't make figures of every Animal Crossing character ever. You would pretty much be broke. There are tons of Animal Crossing characters, possible villagers you can have in your village. So you would pretty much go broke. So the fact that they make cards out of them is really good, because that is a really good idea, because sometimes you might not want all the figures. So that's pretty good too. Next one is Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which is an Animal Crossing board game, and it's Animal Crossing on a board game. That's pretty much all I can tell you. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to be. I don't think this is going to tickle anybody's fancy. I don't think this is going to. I think this is strictly for people who are into Animal Crossing, and I don't think Animal Crossing fans want it. I don't think I don't think the average Joe Smo that plays Smash and Mario Kart is going to be all 100% into this. So no, I don't think so. Um, all right, next game is Yoshi's Woolly World, which is really, really cute. It's a really cute. I love Kirby's Epic Yarn. I love the game, the graphicalness of that game, because that game is totally cute, and the whole Woolly World, with Yoshi and the yarn. That's really cute. And I love the amiibo. The I love the Yoshi amiibo. Like it's made of yarn and it's literally soft and it has like instead of like that hard base amiibo base, it pretty much has like a little soft amiibo patch bottom. So you can just like plunk. Instead of it like a click, it's more like a squish. And it like you presses bottom on the gamepad and you can activate um a second Yoshi, which is pretty cool. And then they talked more about the making of the process of it, which is really cute Japanese lady. She has some nice lips, but we're not gonna get too much in that. We're not gonna get too much into that one. Yeah, she was real cute, and we talked about the process. And another cool thing is you can take other amiibo and you can change the texture and the design of Yoshi. Like you can make there's like a Mario Yoshi or a Samus Yoshi. Depending on which amiibo you press onto it, you could change the fabric of each amiibo of each Yoshi. So I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of reminded me of uh using amiibo in Mario Kart 8 to change your Mii racers outfits. So that was really cool. It's superficial. It's very superficial, but it's really cool. So that's it. The next game is Yokai Watch, which is essentially Pokemon with ghosts, and this is big, really, really big in Japan. And I was thinking it's only going to be a matter of time before this thing becomes big in America, because if it's like blowing up in Japan, it most likely is going to be popular in America, especially when they dub it. I don't know if they've dubbed it yet over, but it is like blowing up in Japan. All the little kids want a Yokai Watch. So I think it only stands to reason that it's only a matter of time before it becomes big in America. So I am looking forward to trying my hand at that. That is for the 3DS, and that is really cool. Another game for the 3DS is Mario and Luigi's Paper Jam, which is essentially, it really is. It's the Paper Mario games and the Mario and Luigi games mixed in. So it's basically the two universes, those two separate Mario universes have been like smushed together in some way. And the Paper Mario and the Mario Luigi and the M&L stuff is like mixed together, and they've kind of like collided. So it's really cool. It's really interesting how that it's really interesting how they put those two universes together and made an RPG out of it. Because I love Paper Mario and I love the Mario and Luigi RPGs. And it is sad, but I feel that only fans are gonna get this because if anything with those games, those games are like really awesome and are really cool and creative, but they pretty much don't pull anybody outside of fans, and I think only people that are going to get into it are fans. But I love the fact that they keep trying with this game and they've never really given up on it, and they're constantly trying to make new stuff with it. So I really appreciate what they're doing with that franchise. Okay, next one is Mario Tennis. I think it's Mario Tennis Ultra Smash for the Wii U, and that's about it. It's Mario Tennis on the Wii U. That's basically it. I love Mario Tennis. I like to play more. If I could play more Mario Tennis, that'd be good. But that's essentially it. I'm not gonna really elaborate too much about that. And the last one that they really focused on was the Super Mario Maker, which I gotta admit, the more I look at it, the more I really look at it and really get a sense of it, it's starting to grow on me. It really is starting to grow on me. I could see me and my godson like poking with a couple of with a couple of levels, and like playing with it, and like, ooh, let's put a Goomba here, or let's put a couple of Bowsers there, let's put some fire here, and see how we and then try to see if we can beat it. Make a make a hard level, and then see how we can beat if we can beat it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, but I mean, yeah, it was really interesting. They talked more about it, and then they went in and they broke down the the old ways they used to do Mario levels. Like they broke down like the technical papers and the designs and the old designs of the first Super Mario in 1985, and how they used to draw like levels in graph paper and like, set up different ways and graphing paper. And I was like, man, that's old school logic. Having to design stuff from scratch and then send it over to the coder, use paper, and then send it over to the coder to write code for all this. This is some like old school stuff. And I like hearing about stuff like that. I love hearing about the process, like what it took to make this thing great. And I like that. I love watching the behind the scenes stuff. And I'm like, man, that's really cool. So they talked about that. They talked about that it was the 30-year anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. They had this big thing where it's like, oh, help us celebrate by sharing some of your Mario moments and send it in and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cool too. I'm not gonna do it, but it's cool that they're opening up the community, and to see how many people really love Mario and have been changed by Mario. Like I've been changed by Mario because that's like one of the first video games I've ever played with Super Mario Brothers, and I'm just like, man, I just, yeah, I'm into it. I want to see where this goes, and I'm like, yeah, I want to see where gaming goes for me because this is just the start. So yeah, I like to see the submissions. I like to see what people post. So that's kind of cool, and I'm glad that Nintendo was like making a deal about this, because sometimes people don't make a big deal about it. Like, oh, it's 20 year of this franchise, whatever. Maybe a birthday hat and then a birthday hat DLC, whatever. But it's really good that that the company is celebrating the thing that is make that celebrating the thing that makes them that not only makes them money but brings them fame. I mean, Nintendo went from making playing cards to Game and Watch to Nintendo and I mean, to arcade machines, and then Nintendo and the NES, and I'm like, wow, that's they've always been really into toys and games and stuff. So to see them into video games, it's like another chapter in a very thick and interesting book. So yeah, that was essentially the Nintendo Digital Press event thing. I gotta say, overall, I was kind of disappointed because I really wish they had talked a little bit more about that new Zelda's coming up, because they basically mentioned it in the last year, and they threw up something, and it was like, hey, it's coming out, and we really didn't see anything more from that, you know. So I really would like to see a lot more of that coming down the pipe. So yeah, but yeah, it was kind of disappointing. I mean, I kind of could feel like people were like, "That's it? That's all we get?" It feel like, and yeah, it kind of feels like we would get more from a Nintendo Direct, a monthly Nintendo Direct. Like we didn't find any information about this. We didn't find any information about that. You know, we got like a trailer, but we didn't really get any gameplay or no developer walkthrough or producer walkthrough. I mean, we got so much good stuff from the other press conferences, but we kind of feel like things have been left flat there. I mean, yeah, sure, Star Fox is coming out, but really, unless you're like a big fan of it, I don't think you're really that excited about another Star Fox game. You're mostly excited about a Zelda game or a Mario game or a Mario Kart or Smash stuff. I mean, the Smash stuff really was like, oh shoot, Nintendo is good, is getting there. I mean, with Ryu and Roy and Lucas from Smash Brothers, the Smash Brothers stuff was much more exciting. So it just felt like it was kind of lacking in a way. But overall, I was like, okay, it's Nintendo. They're gonna release some Nintendo stuff. As soon as I can, I'm gonna buy it. So it is what it is. But anyway, thank you. I think this is a good time to stop. And thank you for listening to my last and final for this year E3 reaction audio show. Thank you for listening. If you like this, please share this with your friends, family, and loved ones. And, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, and good night. Whenever you watch this, as long as you watch this, and have a wonderful, nice day. Bye-bye.